Hello, my ghosts and goblins, my ghouls, my gremlins, my everything. This is supposed to come out on Halloween, so happy Halloween! Welcome to Nostalgia Goggles of Terror, the Trick or Treat episode. And today, you got treated! Yeah, I mean, this could technically be a treat, because the guest of last year was here. You just refused to leave, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, with that being said, before we get into this, if anybody asks, yes, there is a reason why this is called the treat episode, and that's because it's just a regular episode. Next year, it may not be that way. It really depends on if I can get a guest or not. So, technically, this is a trick and treat episode, right?
In a technical standpoint, yes.
Without further ado, let's get right into it. Today we're going to ask the question, does Luigi's Mansion 3 hold up? Me and you have a very interesting relationship with Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh, for sure.
We played it back at E3, which I think was the last time E3 happened. Was Luigi's Mansion 3 was the thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we went to that one, and it's as dead as you are. Jokes, ha. With that being said, introduce yourself.
Hello, it is I, Olivia, the Ecto Queen, and we are here again talking about Luigi's Mansion 3. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I played this game twice at E3 when it came out. I stood in line twice.
With that being said, that has nothing really to do. The E3 thing, I know that I mentioned. Whatever, let's get into the episode. I'm tired, guys.
The story of Luigi's Mansion 3 is that Luigi, Mario, and Princess Peach are invited to the luxurious last resort for an all-expense-free getaway by the hotel's owner, Helen Gravely. Accompanied by a few toads and Polterpup, they check in and everything seems perfect. Of course it's a trap! Peach, Mario, and the toads are captured and put into paintings by Helen and her idol, King Boo. And of course, King Boo needs Luigi to complete his collection and his revenge. Luigi and Polterpup escape and luckily find Professor Egad, who was captured as well. With the brand new Poltergust and Gooigi, the ectoplasmic assistant, Luigi sets out to go find all the hotel buttons for the elevators, conquer each floor, and rescue his friends.
I am so mad that I didn't know the name of this hotel, and it pisses me off that it is the last resort.
You didn't know?
No, because I didn't give a shit. I felt like I read it and went, and that's it. Like, I didn't ever connect the dots. I swear to God. That upsets me. You know what even more upsets me is the fact that Peach got in on this one, because, you know, either that tells me, as a character, Mario did not tell Peach what's going on. Mario just does not tell the adventures of Luigi. Or Peach knew damn well, looked at the last resort and said, shit, I want to get captured by a ghost. I'm captured by whatever. This has nothing to do. This is why I don't do these when I'm tired, but this has to be out by Halloween, and I'm tired. So that's my rambling. That's why this episode might be a rambling mess. Anyways, I'm just pissed at the name. So
without any further ado, let's move on to gameplay.
So when it gets right down to the gameplay of Luigi's Mansion 3, the idea of Luigi's Mansion 3 is you are trying to climb your way up to the tower by getting the buttons that were taken off by the ghosts, and it is your job to fight your way through them. Fighting very reminiscent portrait ghost bosses, having Gooigi at your side, and also doing more things with the poltergust, such as actually being able to beat the shit out of ghosts. Instead of just sucking them up, this time you can slam them into other ghosts, and it is super fun. And I think that that's really the main new mechanic. You're also able to jump in this one, which is also utilized in the mechanic. This game really feels like it utilizes the Switch to its almost fullest potential, because there are puzzles within the game that are more than that. They're like sand-based and, you know, just stuff that I don't think... Like, it's stuff that Luigi's Mansion dabbled in, but this one finally kind of goes through with it, because there is a sand level in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, but it doesn't really feel the same. Gooigi is nice as well, because it allows you to have two people at once, and it causes for more puzzles. The main weakness of Gooigi is water and heavy elements, but it's still nice to have all of these things here. And instead of Gooigi being locked behind multiplayer, it's nice that he's put here up in front and center.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think that Luigi's Mansion 3 is the perfect middle ground between Dark Moon and 1, like the original Luigi's Mansion. Being less choppy as far as pacing, having the intricate details, and then also stuff more like the portrait ghosts, but then also having the puzzle solving element, the fun aesthetic, and the really great gameplay that
and
2
also
introduced.
ever-changing levels too.
Yeah.
But that's more of presentation.
Right.
I think the thing is that this one forgoes missions, and I can easily see where missions would have been here, but instead they decided to go with the Luigi's Mansion 1 style of just going straight through. Now, does that mean that this game is absolutely perfect in the gameplay department? No. There's a few things that they try, which is the one that I hate is the inner tube segment.
Oh, yeah.
It just doesn't feel good. It might just be because I'm bad at it, but like it just doesn't feel good. I don't get what they were trying to go for, and it really sucks that a whole boss fight's dedicated to it. And it just doesn't, I just don't like it. There are gyro controls in this game, but I feel like it's not like a necessary thing either. When it gets right down to it, you do not need to do it at all. And I like it. It's second nature to me, but then again, I've been playing the Switch forever, so like gyro controls is nothing because Breath of the Wild and Splatoon have it. So of course, I'm used to it.
Of course.
But it's nice to mention. Realistically, this game is just solid. I don't have much more to say about it. I like what this game does. It realistically is a great fusion gameplay-wise of Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2. And I feel like, argumentatively, the stuff I want to talk about comes more in the presentation. I guess I could also talk about the bosses. The bosses are more like... There's like 2 bosses in Luigi's Mansion that come to mind, and that is the baby and the shadow ghost.
Oh, Bogmire.
Yeah. Those two feel like that's what this whole game is as a boss, because you know how they have something a lot more separate. They have a cutscene dedicated to them.
Yeah.
You know, because
they're the big end bosses of each area. They're yeah.
And it felt like those. The whole game feels like that, and I really like how there is the variety of levels. I like how each biome has a different kind of thing that comes to it gameplay wise. It's not just walk and suck up ghosts. It's more than that, you know.
Yeah.
And I like the puzzles and all the other stuff that comes with each biome. And I really, really love that there's multiple biomes of this.
Yeah.
But I think that's just us kind of going around in circles. The game, I think, does a really good job at existing and doing what it does best. Anything of note you want to say? Because the thing is, like, because I could sit here and be like, oh, well, there's Golden Bones. That returns from Luigi's Mansion. You can buy upgrades once again, you know, for the...
Yeah, there's treasure hunting and gem collecting, but those are just staples of Luigi's Mansion at this point.
Yeah, and it's just, it is Luigi's Mansion. It just feels great. It's the best feeling game, period.
Agreed.
So...
That being said, I think that's time to move on to presentation.
This game looks way better than it really, really needs to, and it should. It's an outstanding looking game. And I think that it's just one of my favorite visual games. The Nintendo Switch does this too, and so did the Wii U to a degree, but there's a lot of games that look okay, but then there's games that just stand out that look like hot damn, and this is one of them.
Oh yeah, like they really, like the animation is actually really pretty.
Same thing with the texturing of this game. Like Luigi, like the texturing and the lighting is phenomenal.
Yeah, there's a lot of really great things going on here visually with just how nice it looks, honestly.
Now this game isn't scary.
No, not at all. It takes a page from Dark Moon, where it's very approachable, a little bit teeny tiny bit creepy, but like in that trick-or-treat sort of sense, as you mentioned, I think, before. And it's one of those things of, I think this one I'm finally happy with, because the ghosts have a nice middle ground between Dark Moon and the original, where actually you can kind of see some of the designs from Luigi's Mansion 1 kind of leak in a little bit.
You can definitely see 2.
And yeah, you can definitely see 2. It's a good thing, but I'm happy because I get my ghosts with the big bombastic personalities back, you know, that are each kind of like the bosses of each floor, kind of a little bit portrait ghosty. So I feel like
yeah, that's what I enjoy.
Yeah, I enjoy them very much. I think that it's really fun. I love the Art Deco stylings of the hotel. I think that we've got I think there's just a lot of good stuff going on here.
I just absolutely love exploring it. The thing that I love the most is the fact that each level is different, because it feels nice to have that. None of them are like realistic in the sense of what one would look like, but one of my favorite ones happens to be the movie set and how they utilize that one.
Oh yeah.
The gym's another cool one. The whole magician one is super fun too.
The magician one is really neat, yeah.
I don't know, I just like all the things that happen here. I have had a few moments where I got stuck, and that might just be because I was kind of, when it comes to these, I had to rush this episode, so that might be it, like, but, because initially I don't remember getting stuck. I think it was just because I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
Because, you know, playing these games tired sometimes isn't the greatest, but, and the thing is, it's not that I was stuck on anything that mattered either, it's just the movie one was where I got stuck, I think, but even though that doesn't truthfully matter, I guess I'm just talking about there's a possibility, but I don't know. I feel like the way that they set this up is great. And that's really all I have to say.
And it's the happy medium between 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think if Luigi's Mansion must continue and you don't want to go back to Luigi's Mansion 1, because I feel like that could be a little jarring now.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to go back to the presentation, this is the way to go. And I think what saves this one in truth is the bombastic characters. Because, like, Luigi's Mansion 1 just didn't have it. Like, yeah, they had their weird big-headed ghosts and the fat ghosts and whatever, but I feel like the lack of a boss, you know, that's separate is the issue.
Mm-hmm. I was just missing that little tiny touch of personality, so I'm a happy camper, and I think that this is, and honestly, I think this is a great game, presentation-wise. With that being said, let's move on to accessibility.
So on to accessibility. There's a flaw with doing these more modern episodes, and that comes down to it being, yeah, it's just gonna be like $60, and you can get it. This is the most accessible technically it's ever going to be. So, you know, if you want to get your hands on it, if you're somebody that's like watching these videos and going like, I want to check out the Luigi's Mansion series, yeah, this is the place to go. This is the one to probably start with. It is probably argumentatively the easiest one to get your hands on because it is still in stores today. Debatably, because you could say that with 2 as well, because of the Switch port, but I still feel like this one has no strings attached. It doesn't have a GameCube port because it came out as a modern console. It doesn't have... It doesn't have another version of it out there yet, because I bet you that when the Switch 2 happens, they're probably gonna do something, like maybe a remake collection of all the Luigi's Mansions.
Oh, that would be sweet.
So, I bet you, I feel it. So, with that being said though, let's move on to the goods and the bads. Like, this whole game's good.
Yeah, pretty much.
To be fair here, I wasn't sold on Luigi's Mansion 3 when they first announced it. I did not care about Luigi's Mansion 3 when they first announced it. I thought that this game was just going to be Luigi's Mansion, but it wasn't until I went to E3 and actually got my hands on it and played the demo that I knew that I'd love this game, which is where I'd argue that demos are important because it allows you to get your hands on a game realistically, and sometimes that's all you need, right, is a demo. So I'd recommend maybe in the future, if companies ever watch this, or if anybody understands what I'm trying to get at, demos are wise, right? Especially on iffy games. And I'd argue that Luigi's Mansion is kind of an iffy game, because I don't know if everyone would be into that one.
Right. No, yeah, as much as I love it, I will admit, yeah, it's definitely not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
I can see why another reason why this would be off-putting for people is the hotel motif, because, like Luigi's Mansion 2, you know, Luigi's Mansion 2 feels like argumentatively, mentally, it'd be safer than 3, because it's just a whole bunch of houses and mansions, argumentatively.
Yeah.
But this one feels like it'd be scarier, but it's not, because the motif itself is great, and it doesn't even feel like a hotel all the time, because there's like a grassy, jungly biome, Egyptian biome, film set, and yada yada, and that variety is super nice, which was nice in the second game too. It's just the problem is I couldn't get into them, where this one I definitely could. I loved it, and none of them overstayed their welcome either.
Yeah.
And with that being said, another good is this one has you kind of being pushed back in a better way, where the cat is the reason why you keep losing your buttons. And is it frustrating? Yes, but it only happens about 2 to 3 times, and even then it doesn't matter because it's super quick. It's kind of like chasing Polterpup, but not as annoying. It doesn't take up as much time, it feels to me, because yes, you have to go down 3 sets of flights of, you know.
Yeah, you have to go up and down between some floors. but at least it's not as intrusive as Polterpup was in Dark Moon.
And the thing that's funny is Polterpup is less intrusive argumentatively because it's only one mission. You know, you don't have to go back throughout whatever's, but I don't know, I just feel like the cat is a better instance of that. I don't know. And it's probably because it doesn't keep happening, right? Like, when it does happen, when an argumentative inconvenience happens, it's already part of the level. But the cat is the only one that I feel like is indicative of Luigi's Mansion 2, and even then I don't mind it as much. Like, it sucks. I've sighed on it multiple times. But, I don't know, I didn't hate it. It's probably because it's so easy to deal with the cat.
Yeah, at least it's got that going on. And I gotta just say, I enjoyed the pacing. I'm so glad to see all this personality from this game, and the ghosts, and everything. Honestly, I'm just really swept away with how much I like the presentation and the gameplay. Like I said, it's the happy medium, and I'm very happy with it.
I think the thing that I keep forgetting to kind of bring up is that the gameplay does an outstanding job at keeping up with Luigi's Mansion and making it feel faster paced, even though it's not. Right? Slamming down the ghosts is, I'd argue, faster than the power suction. I feel like the funniest thing about this, right, is when it gets down to feeling of ghost catching, because now we can finally talk about it. Luigi's Mansion 3 feels the best. 1 feels better, because if you rock the thumbstick back and forth, right?
Yeah.
It goes by faster. And then 2 is, I feel like, the weakest, because if, the rocking back and forth thing doesn't matter as much, you need to get the bars up. And it doesn't feel, it's faster argumentatively than I probably think all of them, but it just doesn't feel as fast to me, and it doesn't feel as good, where this one, I think, is the best. I love slamming the ghost. And what's great is you don't have to either. You could do the rocking back and forth thing, and it still works here. You can play Luigi's Mansion like the olden days. I really like that. I like how the boss fights feel. I love how this game feels in general. I like them being finally able to jump. That's
so nice.
Crazy. Like, I know you can do it in 2, but like being able to jump, and it's not like a big jump, mind you, but they utilize that for some of the boss fights. Now, and I enjoy that. I also enjoy how creative the boss fights are, which is nothing new for Luigi's Mansion and nothing new for Nintendo games, but I liked it, so.
Yeah, definitely. No, I feel like you're right. I absolutely agree wholeheartedly with you on the ghost catching, because this and 1 feel really good because you get that feedback. And then, the jump makes all the difference, honestly, with like just a little tiny bit, extra. It's nice. I love the puzzles in this game. Using Luigi feels good. There's a lot of just
good.
Yeah, there's just a lot of good.
The game's just super solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that being said, let's move on to the bad. There's one thing that I find bad within this game, and I guess, just one thing. Yeah, there's only one thing, and that is the inner tube boss fight and just the inner tube segment itself. And even then, I don't know if I can say that that's 100% bad. It's just, I don't like the mechanics of it, and I'm not a big fan of it, and that's really it. Nothing big about it. It's like, and the thing that's even funny about it is me even wasting a segment on this is stupid, because it is so short. And even then, with that being said, within that boss fight, they give you so much leeway in it, because there are mice that constantly appear, so you will never, if you pay attention to the mice and you just flash your light at them or suck them up, they give you hearts. So you're never truthfully gonna die within this level. It's just annoying. I've died, by the way. But like, if you can manage it, there's reasons why I don't like it, and it's just because I don't like how the suck and pull thing work on this one, and how you have to get to a boss at a certain time, and how little that window of time is. So, that's really it.
Can't argue with you there. I was gonna joke about that being a nitpick, but yeah.
It is. No, I said that already. It's a nitpick. It's not. And does that mean that this game is perfect?
No, of course not.
But like, I feel like that's the thing about this one is I can't complain about it the same way that I can with 2, which is funny because 2 also only has one real problem in truth that matters, which is missions. Because when it gets down to it, the aesthetic isn't there, but like, who the hell cares?
Right.
I mean, we clearly did, but like.
Well, that was more of a me problem, but
I kind of, whatever. Well, we watched the episode. We already talked about 2.
I know. We don't need to do this again. Yeah, we don't need to do it again.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I can't find any other real problem with the game. It's just a solid go-through. With that being said, let's go to the final thoughts. So with that being said, does Luigi's Mansion 3 hold up? Absolutely. Yeah, this is one of those games that definitely holds up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine why it wouldn't, if I'm gonna be honest.
I think the thing that's great about this one is that it definitely holds up because it does its job better than all the rest of them. Where I've scoffed at Luigi's Mansion 1 and got frustrated at 2, I absolutely loved this one from just sitting and playing it. The way that they did this one, and I don't even know how to 100% explain it, but the way that they did it makes it way more accessible and way more fun to somebody that has not touched the rest of the series.
No, yeah, I think it has something to do with it just being it's just a well put together game, and I don't think I don't know. I don't think there's any magic trick or any secrets. I think it's just good old spin-off construction.
Well, yeah, but like, with that being said, we went on this journey of the first one being really good and really fun, just sit down and play it, and the second one being really solid but annoying with missions, to the third one being nearly perfect out of the series. Right? And that makes sense though, because that's kind of what gaming is supposed to do. Every sequel is supposed to build upon and make better the first one. But I don't know, this one's just super solid. It's just play the damn game, you know? I think that this one's gonna hold up for the rest of its entire lifespan. It's gonna be a game that if you look back at Luigi's Mansion, it's gonna be probably one of your favorites, if not your favorite. I don't know. I enjoy this one. Yes, it doesn't have the aesthetic, and yes, I feel like a hypocrite, but then again, I've even said it in the Luigi's Mansion 2 episode, is that if they just got rid of the missions or toned them down, I probably would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
But I think that this one does a great job. It doesn't have that same issue, and I really, really enjoy what this game did. And if you have not checked it out, I definitely recommend it. I'd highly recommend it. I feel like it's one of the must-plays on the Switch.
Absolutely, I agree. I think it is definitely I can recommend this game very strongly, and that's it.
And with that being said, have a happy Halloween. Have a safe Halloween. Don't do anything stupid. Definitely don't go to houses if you've been invited on a lottery or you've been invited to a hotel. Don't do that. And if an old man summons you to collect a jewel, don't do that. Instead, take a vacation to Raccoon Island. That's it. Raccoon Island. What the fuck? Raccoon City. Goodness.
Oh, goodness. Happy Halloween, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on Nostalgia Goggles of Horror.